There's something mysterious about submarines and all that they hold. Secrets in the deep that are sometimes plagued with disastrous situations, or a crew that doesn't do what they're supposed to do. Plus, with the ability to silently start a war, submarines with nuclear weapons will bring suspense and action, especially in films. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 films aboard a submarine. Number 1. U-571. I'm not gonna lie. Watching this film gave me panic attacks with all the explosions, gunfire inside the submarine, Matthew McConaughey's constant worried look. Plus, the score just adds to the tension of this film. The first 10 minutes are all aboard a German submarine during World War II, when it's damaged by multiple depth charges. Cut to a naval officer's wedding reception, where everybody is having a good time. That is, until they get word they have to ship out. Once they're on the sub and on their way, they find out their mission is to board German U-boat, the U-571, and retrieve the Enigma machine along with the codebooks, so they can break the Axis message network. During the mission, there's a lot of fighting, which results in the boarding party having to take refuge on the German submarine, where they have to then try to operate this vessel. But big problem. Only one person knows German, so he's sent running around the sub trying to decipher everything and transmissions that are coming across. I feel so bad for this kid as he is so stressed, but seems so damn sweet. Then, the boarding party's vessel is attacked by an allied vessel mistaking them for the enemy. So they retaliate with a countermeasure in hopes of deterring the allied sub from engaging further. Except they accidentally end up destroying it. Along comes this German destroyer, and the tension rises to unsurmountable heights. The sub dives below acceptable depths trying to evade detection, which end up in quite a few deaths, unfortunately, and climaxes into a bittersweet ending. I don't know if I wanted to cheer or cry. I will say, I did have a hard time following characters, but we do have an awesome cast with Matthew McConaughey, Bill Paxton, Harvey Keitel, John Bon Jovi, and T.C. Carson, with a soundtrack to just bring certain scenes to life. I won't spoil any more of this film. You have to experience this over on Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 2. Crimson Tide. Captain Ramsey, played by Gene Hackman, is in charge of the USS Alabama and has just been given orders to travel towards Russia due to an unrest that could potentially start a war there when his XO comes down with appendicitis. Lieutenant Commander Hunter, played by Denzel Washington, a by-the-book and eager young officer, is assigned to the crew to replace him. Hunter is younger, more educated, and well-rounded, but has never seen war firsthand, which leaves him relatively inexperienced, as opposed to Ramsey, who is a 25-year veteran of the U.S. Navy. On day 3, there's a fire in the kitchen, completely engulfing it, but the crew manages to put it out, when suddenly Ramsey decides to do a missile drill just as they're finishing up there, an order that prompts Hunter to question the captain. They start butting heads, which causes tension, all the way up to the second emergency action message that fails to come through completely. This results in a huge argument between the two, and Hunter relieves Ramsey of duty. All the while, they try to avoid being hit by a missile that was previously launched. Hunter is claiming that they need more information to correctly go about this, while Ramsey's telling him, "We have our orders. This is what's gonna happen." A mutiny breaks out, forcing the crew to take sides, testing their loyalties and the code of conduct, up until the very end. I really couldn't help but notice the tension on screen is a lot like what we're dealing with today in the real world. We have the election coming up soon, and people are dividing themselves based on their preferred candidate or their religious beliefs, instead of facts and following the law. I know people have their opinions, But we have to find a common ground. And while I'm not here to tell you which side to choose, it is really tiring to see the amount of misinformation being spread and the whole election process turning into a popularity contest instead of electing individuals who will do their best to support their constituency. Side note, the cinematography is awesome, especially watching the real USS Alabama dive like it does. Director Tony Scott really went all out for that, waiting for a while for a single submarine to take off and go. And when one finally did, by luck, it was the one they needed. Make sure to go check this out on Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 3, K-19, The Widowmaker. Not many films bring tears to my eyes, but the longer I was glued to the screen, the more I wanted to cry. Catherine Bigelow delivers a historical story about the Soviet Union's first nuclear missile-carrying submarine. With profound performances by Harrison Ford, Liam Neeson, Peter Skarsgård, and Donald Sumter, and a score fitting for the downfall of this submarine, we have to acknowledge how great it is. K-19 is about to go on its maiden voyage, and when they go to break the bottle, it doesn't break, leaving the crew to claim the boat is cursed. Before they even leave the harbor, there's already 5 deaths in the crew, including their doctor. This should have been a clear omen to not go to sea. However, they set their course to the Arctic, where they launch a test missile and celebrate. But in the not-so-far future, things take a turn for the worst. The reactor breaks, which causes radiation to pour into the enclosed submarine, threatening the lives of all those aboard. To fix it, they send in 2-man crews for 10 minutes each as they try to repair it. Eventually, it's repaired, but all the men who went in are now battling lethal doses of radiation. The battle then continues as the captain and XO have a bit difference of opinions. There's so much tension, and then you're grieving for all those who have perished, knowing they'll never get any kind of recognition from Russia. The film is inspired by true events that happened in 1961, and K-19 really did suffer all these problems, but due to the communist rule at the time, the men were forced into secrecy. After 28 years, communism fell, and they were able to tell this story. So take some time and watch this one unfold over on Tubi, Peacock, Sling, Roku, Plex, Prime, Google Play, Fandango, Apple TV, or Redbox. Number 4, The Hunt for Red October. I've caught bits and pieces of this film for many years, and when I finally sat down to watch it, I realized what I was missing. A Soviet Union submarine crew whose captain, played by the brilliant Sean Connery, and his officers want to defect to America, but there's always a problem at hand. Our protagonist, Jack Ryan, played by Alec Baldwin, is an author with the CIA and comes across this case as he has some experience with figuring out what people are going to do. His challenge now is to get the U.S. Navy on his side to help him rescue this submarine and all the people aboard. It's so tense and just action-packed once you get through the buildup of what's going on. And then you're trying to figure out why this is going on. It's literally nail-biting by the last 45 minutes. And even then, you're still at the edge of your seat. You have torpedoes going every which way, strange tactics, and an amazing cast, including James Earl Jones, Sam Neill, and Tim Curry. Intense score, this film really should have won more awards than the 3 it did. Director John McTiernan brought this Tom Clancy film to life, and I could not have asked for a better adaptation than this. Make sure to check out the first installment of the Jack Ryan series over on Max, Hulu, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 5, Hunter Killer. I feel Gerard Butler gets typecast a lot, and this one is no different, as he plays this tough leader who's not going to take anybody's shit, while making sure everything comes out great. Following Joe Glass, played by Butler, as he captains the submarine USS Arkansas on a rescue mission to find the USS Tampa Bay that the Navy lost all contact with. They do find the submarine and all the lost souls, but also a Russian submarine that was demolished from the inside out, causing glass to pick up the survivors. Sure, the crew isn't on board for this, but it's the right thing to do. Now they're on their way back to the Russian naval base with random attacks and ultimately returning the Russian president back to where he belongs. It's a wild ride, honestly, and even though it's pretty predictable, I still found it to be entertaining. Critics may not have cared for it, comparing it to The Hunt for Red October minus Jack Ryan, but there's going to be films that mimic some of the greats, and this is a prime example of it. I suggest a Friday night movie, popcorn, and all while you check this out on Netflix, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Enjoy the ride.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope that you're enjoying all of our content. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. If you want to support us even further, there are numerous ways. First, check out fatninja.shop, our very own merch store where we sell t-shirts, hoodies, hats, shoes, and more, featuring our logo and other designs. You can also join our Patreon, linked in the video description. Last but not least, we have officially launched the YouTube membership program. At only $4.99 a month, you'll get access to our monthly newsletter featuring reviews, previews, and exclusive behind-the-scenes information about our upcoming projects and videos. You also get a nifty little badge and special emojis that you can use during our upcoming live stream chats. And if you're a member of our Discord channel, you'll get access to a special role which gives you even better access to the Fat Ninja staff and the chance to enter a monthly prize drawing as well as a shout-out at the end of our videos. The prize drawings will only begin once we have reached our goal of 50 members. Finally, you'll also be gifted a special coupon code good for 20% off any item from our store. We appreciate each and every one of you and are incredibly thankful for your support. Each new subscriber and member helps us achieve our goals and keeps us motivated to create new content each week. Thanks again. Take care.
Number 6, Down Periscope. Even though critics dislike this film, I found it fun and refreshing. Following Lieutenant Commander Thomas Dodge, played by Kelsey Grammer, we learn he is up for consideration to captain his own submarine. With the committee being divided, 2 of the admirals decided to set him on a war game, which includes invading Charleston Harbor and sinking a ship in Norfolk Harbor. Vice Admiral Winslow, played by Rip Torn, tells Dodge to think like a pirate, and he does. With his executive officer at one point attempting mutiny, Dodge and the crew make him walk the plank, landing into a fishing vessel. The hijinks this crew does to win these games is very unorthodox and quite comedic, with some high-tension moves. I have to say, my favorite character is Engine Man Brad Stepanek, who's this rebellious jerk in the beginning, but redeems himself as he goes. There's a point where the old man, Engine Man, gets knocked unconscious, and Stepanek goes racing into the engine room to help fix everything that's going wrong. He saved the day in that part, but he says that he's out to screw himself over, not everybody else. Which, if that's what you want to do, go for it, but make sure nobody else goes down with you. There's even points with Dodge that make him a really good captain. Like when Lieutenant Emily gets too nervous to guide the submarine between 2 propellers, Dodge takes over, but really messes with her mind, making it seem like he can't do it as good a job as her, to which she finds her courage and steps up. I really enjoyed this film, and think you will too, so check it out on Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 7, The Enemy Below. Somewhere in the South Atlantic, a U.S. destroyer starts tracking a German submarine during World War II. The U.S. destroyer's captain, Muriel, knows that it's the enemy, claiming a gut feeling. Whereas on the German submarine, the crew is trying to avoid the destroyer and eventually get back home. Their mission is to get the codebook from the British and turn it to the regime. The captain, von Stolberg, really does not like this war, telling his XO that this is a bad one. Eventually, they start firing upon each other, and the destroyer does what it's supposed to and decimates the submarine. Once the submarine is sinking, Muriel throws a rope to von Stolberg and his XO, saving most of the German soldiers, even helping to give the XO a burial at sea as they come together at the end of the day. This film is slow-paced, but it was made in 1957, so the amount of action and suspense aren't up to the standards we have today. However, it's still a great film and does show that even enemies can become friends. Take some time out to see this over on Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 8. Das Boot. Wolfgang Petersen won Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay in 1982 with this film, and it was deserved. Many directors were considered for this film, but ultimately went to Petersen, where he based the story off the novel from 1973 of the same name. We follow a German crew as they're aboard a submarine U-96 during World War II, and there's a lot of up and down traveling. One day they come across British destroyers and sink 2 of the 3, but don't take on any survivors. After that, it's just boredom from the crew, but really lively for the viewer. There's all sorts of problems that come around and they have to solve them before it's too late. They're also denied coming home for Christmas and sent to Italy, where a British plane attacks them. And after they get some repairs done, they set course to go home. It's a great movie that has the right amount of tension, jokes, with some real experiences from the novel. Originally released in German, it has been dubbed to English. You can watch this with subtitles, but I will tell you, a lot of this can be felt through the actors and score. Make sure to check this out on Fubo, Prime, or Google Play. Number 9. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. In 1954, Disney brought us this adaptation from Jules Verne's 1870 novel of the same name, and it is glorious. In this film, we follow a crew on the Nautilus as they search for a giant sea monster. However, they get attacked, which attracted the giant squid. I can't say too much about this plot as it's high tension, a lot of action, and it's sci-fi, so it makes it better. There's so much going on here, and the cast is brilliant, with Kirk Douglas and James Mason bringing each character to life the way Verne would have wanted. It even went on to win awards for Best Art Direction, Best Special Effects, and landed itself in the top 10 films with the National Board of Review Awards in 1954. And yes, it may be outdated, but I promise, it's a great film with great cinematography, a phenomenal score. You just have to check this one out over on Disney+, Prime, Google Play, Apple TV, or Fandango. Number 10. Run Silent, Run Deep. Based on the novel of the same name by Commander Edward L. Beach, Jr., Robert Wise brought this story to life starring Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster. We follow Commander P.J. Richardson as he is out for revenge from the Japanese during World War II, since they sunk 4 U.S. submarines. Richardson is denied his request of revenge, but this didn't stop him as he makes way for the Bungo Straits, where he has to dodge depth charges and various attacks brought on by the enemy. Richardson also takes shots at other ships, slowly making his way to his target. All the while, the crew isn't too happy about their captain disobeying orders from the U.S. Navy. Action-packed, beautiful cinematography, and a gorgeous score. It's almost hard to believe this film was made in the 50s. The title is something to take note of as well, as running silent is a tactic submarines use to go without detection. Make sure to check this out on Tubi, Pluto, Roku, Prime, Fandango for a great classic. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, linked below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content rewards, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we'd greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again. See you in the next one.